John Wayne Gacy, the killer clown who terrorized suburbia. In the quiet Chicago suburb of Norwood Park, few would have predicted that one of America's most prolific serial killers lived among them, hosting barbecues, organizing community events, and even dressing as a clown for children's parties. John Wayne Gacy, known infamously as the Killer Clown, used charm and charisma to hide a monstrous secret. He murdered 33 young men and boys between 1972 and 1978, burying most of them beneath his home. Born on March 17, 1942 in Chicago, Gacy had a turbulent upbringing, marked by abuse from his alcoholic father. Despite early struggles, Gacy sought acceptance through civic engagement. He eventually married, started a contracting business, and became active in local politics. By the mid-1970s, he was well known in his community, a seemingly upstanding citizen who dressed up as Pogo the Clown for charity events. Behind the grease paint and smiles, however, lurked a predator. Gacy lured young men, often runaways or boys looking for work, to his home with promises of construction jobs, money, or alcohol. Once inside, he would overpower his victims using deception, handcuffs, and force. Gacy's killing spree spanned 6 years, with most of his victims being sexually assaulted, strangled, and buried in a crawlspace beneath his modest suburban home. The stench of death eventually led neighbors to complain, but it wasn't until the disappearance of 15-year-old Robert Peast in December 1978 that Gacy's facade began to crack. Police investigations tied Peast's last known whereabouts to Gacy, and a subsequent search of his home uncovered horrifying evidence. Human remains in the crawl space. Gacy was arrested on December 21, 1978. Under questioning, he confessed to killing 33 individuals, most of whom were buried on his property. The few not found beneath his home were discarded in nearby rivers. In 1980, Gacy stood trial for the murders. His defense pleaded insanity, but the evidence was overwhelming. Jurors deliberated for less than 2 hours before finding him guilty of all 33 counts of murder. He was sentenced to death. Gacy spent 14 years on death row at Menard Correction Center, where he took up painting, often of clowns and other unsettling objects. On May 10, 1994, he was executed by lethal injection. His final words were, reportedly, "Kiss my ass." The case of John Wayne Gacy remains one of the most chilling examples of hidden evil. His ability to maintain a seemingly normal public persona while committing acts of unimaginable horror has fascinated and terrified the public for decades. His crimes led to significant changes in how missing person cases, particularly involving young males, were investigated. Gacy's house was eventually demolished, but the psychological scars he left on victims' families and the community endure. Gacy's legacy is a haunting reminder that monsters can wear masks, sometimes even ones painted with a clown smile.